Hey, happy hump day. It is Wednesday, August 5th, and it is day number 143 of Back on Fitness with Coach A. Got a kind of a long one for you today. It is going to be a 24-minute AMRAP. 2 movements. A lot of work, 2 movements. Dumbbell snatches alternating and running. Dumbbell snatches are going to ascend each round from 2 each to 4 each to 6 each to 8 each and so on. All right, so first round isn't just right left, it's right left, right left. So that's 2 each side. Alternating sides, the RX weight is 50 for the guys and 35 for the ladies, so that can be easily translated into a 53 and 35-pound kettlebell. The running distance is going to be 200 meters. If you guys aren't sure what 200 meters is, which, it's an eighth of a mile, so it's kind of easy to do if you have a phone with a map on it kind of a thing. But if you don't know, then let's take an average of what do you think your distance versus time would be. Most normal runners, average runners, in the context of this workout are probably looking at about a minute on average per 200-meter run. So if you guys want to, you can go 30 seconds out, 30 seconds back. Keep in mind it's probably going to be a little different as you go. If you only go off of 30 seconds on the first round, you're probably going to run a little far on all those other rounds. That's going to be your easiest run, okay? So 24 minutes, 2 each side dumbbell snatch, 200-meter run. 4 each side dumbbell snatch, 200-meter run, etc., etc. Stick around. I'll go over this in the garage if you have not seen them before or you're not sure how to modify the movements.
All right, Jim Bam. Let's review today's workout real quick and demonstrate these dumbbell snatches. So, 24 minutes, 2, 4, 6, 8 each side is going to be the ascending rep scheme, and a 200-meter run, where we talked about trying to set that off with a time frame, which maybe is about 30 seconds out, 30 seconds back. All right, so dumbbell snatch. In the bottom position, floor, starting position, whatever you guys want to call it, I'm going to sit back and down into my hips, similar to how I would set up on a possibly sumo deadlift with a slightly closer stance, or a normal deadlift that if I possibly had my hands out to the side. Okay, big thing, back engaged, nice and flat, neutral position. My hips and butt are pushing back, so there's some tension in my hamstrings and my thighs here. As I come off the ground, the knees, hips are moving, I'm pushing down, I'm creating that extension, and then I'm ripping into a punch overhead. All right, so full speed, driving up and through. If you notice that I'm kind of pushing through that left hip a little bit harder than the right hip, it's because I want to, in order to get my lat working in that movement, get some drive going across. Okay, so it's almost going to be like a diagonal connection there. The weight's in the right hand, so the left foot, left hamstring, left hip is going to be a little more aggressive possibly than the right side. Okay, and again, we are alternating, so I'm either back down to the ground and switch, or I'm switching in air, coming down and making my tap from there. All right.
Stay tuned for movement modifications.
All right, if we're looking to modify this dumbbell snatch today, keep in mind kettlebell, it's pretty much going to be the same exact thing, with the one caveat of you can't actually come under the kettlebells, right? So if I'm using the dumbbell, technically I could drop myself under that dumbbell a little bit. Kettlebell, that's not going to be the case because it's going to come slamming down the backside of the wrist. So it's just going to be a quick turnover and punch out. Now, if I perchance want to use a barbell, right? Like let's say I don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, then we can go from the ground. We can go from the hang. Really just depends on how long you guys want to take with it. For today, it doesn't matter to me. Keeping in mind that the weight that was prescribed for the dumbbell or kettlebell, which is about 50 and 35, probably comes out to somewhere around 95, 65 for the barbell. Now, the reason I say that, even though that might not make sense, is because when you use the dumbbell or kettlebell, it's going to theoretically be a bit of a unilateral movement. Therefore, your muscles aren't going to be as fatigued after 1 and 1 as they might be you doing 2 full reps with both sides of that bilateral movement. Okay. In which case I would probably keep it a little lighter than maybe that normal transition would be, which would be if I had a movement where I was holding 2 50-pound dumbbells, I would probably all round up, if you will, and then that barbell would become something in the range of 125 to 135. Now, we don't have any of this, but we do have a band. There's a couple things you guys can do. Those of you that have done this before, really you're just kind of playing with this off of what you like. And those of you that have not, what we tend to do for this is take the band, put it under the feet. We can go into an upright row. We can also take the band and put it behind the head into a behind the head press. If the band is challenging, you can even use your hips from there to make it a behind the head push press, in which case you're probably going to do those in sets, right? So for instance, if I'm on the round of 6 and 6, 12 total reps, I'm going to do 12 upright rows, or maybe I'll even do 12 good mornings for the hip extension part, and then I'll take the band from the back and do 12 reps of that behind the head push press. Keep in mind, hip extension is what we're looking for, ground to overhead is what we're looking for. So as long as you guys are modifying it in a way that you're achieving that, more or less you're probably getting the idea of the workout.